First question. You know, people here are divided, I'll put it mildly, but you guys, as Labour, you should be streets ahead. You should be, you know, right up there leading the opposition's strength with everything that's been going on. Why haven't you? Why aren't you?
Well, look, I think if you look at the Prime Minister's record and you look at this government's record, then you'll find that they said that they had a plan for social care. They haven't delivered it. If you look at what they said previously, that they had a plan to end the deficit, they haven't delivered it. We now have, in fact, the largest debt that this country has ever had in peacetime. So this is a government that is not delivering. It's got a spiralling cost of living crisis. It's got people who are having to use food banks even though they're in full-time employment. And you asked me whether the Labour Party could do better. Of course, I would say yes, we can. But the real test is, what do the country think? And that's why we should now be going to a general election.
You want a general election? I mean, you've got a leader.
Do you not? And do you not think that the country does?
No, I personally
do you not think the country wants a general election now?
Well, you've just asked me. Do I want one? No, I don't want one. I want the.
You don't.
I don't.
Any Labour policies are. Are there any?
Barry.
What do you want? What do you want? Do you want Boris Johnson to continue?
Yes, I do. What I want is for none of this ridiculousness to have got to the point that it's got. This has been, in my mind, an absolute witch hunt. I think people have been out for Boris Johnson since day one. Of course, he hasn't helped himself. The Tory parties have been self-harming left, right and centre, and it's ridiculous. You present yourselves as a credible option.
So
your leader has been investigated by the police,
Sorry, you're
Barry.
blaming the Conservative Party. Sorry, I'm just trying to interpret what you've said to me. You're now blaming the Conservative Party for having Boris Johnson as its leader. But you know very well that just a couple of weeks ago, the Conservative Party took a poll on it. Now, 41% of them did not want him to remain as their leader, but actually more people in the more Conservative MPs said that they did. Now, it would appear from the resignations that have happened over the past 24 hours that actually now those figures might have changed. And that's why the 1922 committee of the Conservative Party is actually looking to change the rules so they can run that vote again. But do you think that if they did run it again, they would come to a different conclusion? Or do you think that they would still say, no, Boris Johnson should continue as the Prime Minister of this country, despite the opprobrium that he's brought the party into?
Well, I mean, the 1922 committee had an opportunity to make some changes today and chose not to. So let's just park Boris Johnson for a second and let me focus on Keir Starmer instead. You want a general election. You want to put to the people Keir Starmer, a man that's been investigated by the police, Barry. Oh,
look, that has to be the coldest dish that you've served yet in this interview. The idea that you can counterpose Keir Starmer, who today behaved with absolute integrity, who put the country first, that you can counterpose him to Boris Johnson, who has not just been investigated by the police, but actually fined for breaking the law, and who most of his fellow MPs are saying actually cannot be trusted with the high office that he holds. Really, to try and compare Keir Starmer with Boris Johnson, I think you're not hiding to nothing.
Well, I'll tell you what I think. I didn't mention Boris. I spoke to you about Keir Starmer. I pointed out very clearly he's been investigated by the police. Your reaction is to laugh. And I've got to point out to you, Barry, many people don't actually find it funny.
My reaction was not to that. Sorry, look, no, please don't try in any way to twist what I said. I laughed at your equation of Keir Starmer and Boris Johnson.
Keir
Starmer, a man who's behaved.
I just said you've got a leader that's been investigated by the police. It's a statement of fact. I didn't make any equation. In fact, I said, forget about Boris Johnson, let's focus on Keir.
Yeah.
He's a leader that's been investigated by the police. That was my statement. Your response was to laugh.
And my response was, and so has Boris Johnson, and not only has he been investigated, he's actually been found guilty and issued with a fixed penalty notice for the offence that he committed. So let's get it straight. But Look, I believe that the Labour Party has the policies that the people of this country want to see. We would not be allowing 4 million children in this country to be dependent upon food banks in order to eat once every 24 hours. I mean, you have to remember that there are parents at the moment who are refusing to take vegetables from food banks because they can't afford the gas on the cooker to heat them with. You know, we are living here in the fifth largest economy in the world, and yet the government has got people so ground down, people who are doing a full day's work, 5 days a week and more, who cannot feed their children properly. And this government has been in charge now for 12 years. You have people in this country who have not seen a real terms pay rise for 12 years. And now they're facing 9% inflation. People are desperate. They want rid of this Prime Minister and they want rid of this government. And that's why I said that we need a general election.
But, I mean, if you're so on the side of the workers and all the people that you mentioned, your leader the other day was saying that many of your colleagues wasn't even allowed to stand on picket lines and support those people. So to me, I think that your party stands for very mixed messages at the moment, Barry, and I don't think I'm alone in my sentiment. We shall see what the next 24 hours holds. Pardon?
Well, I was very proud and am proud to stand on the picket lines of people who feel that the only recourse left to them is to withdraw their labour because they're being faced. Let me give you the example of St Monica Trust in the southwest. There you have care workers, okay? They're earning about £25,000 to £30,000 if they're lucky a year. They've been told that they need to take a 21% cut in their wages, and they're facing 9% inflation. Now that means that next year they would actually be earning 30% less than they're earning this year. They're on strike, they're on the picket line. I'm proud to be able to go down and stand with people like that who are simply withdrawing their labour because they feel that they're being treated unfairly. And I think most of the British public have huge sympathy with them for that.